we'll jump into it here, Hazer. We don't have too many people on today, so thanks guys for jumping in. Nighthawks are home this Friday, the 28th, against the Albany Firewolves. So we will go ahead and get started. I'll ask a couple of questions, and then from there, um, if we only have who we have, then we'll go from me to Sam to then Brendan, and then Ripper will close us out. So. Um, Hazer, I guess to just start things, what is it about the Roughnecks that brings the best out of you guys? It seems like anytime you've played them the past couple of years, whenever it is in the year, wherever they are in the standings, the Nighthawks bring their A game.
Yeah, you know what? It's good question. It's just one of those things. I think for us, perfect timing because again, we got punched in the mouth pretty good the week before, and we needed that response, and the guys delivered at the end of the day. So it's not necessarily Calgary. It's just coincidence maybe, but it was good timing on our end to play the game that we had out there. It was good. It was great all the way around.
What did you make and have you made now so far this season of Thomas McConvey?
Just still getting better. I think if not just him, it'd be nice if we had that consistency, game in, game out from the entire group. But he led the charge for us last week. Like he was being very physical, getting setting a lot of great picks for Fieldsy, and then Fieldsy had a lot of time and space to move that ball and pick Calgary apart a little bit there. And when he got his chances in the middle, he scored a couple different ways, right? Like he shot the ball quick, he pumped and got into a better spot. He was just doing a lot of good things that you just got to sit back and watch. And again, as a second year guy, while we have high expectations for him, a lot of stuff he was doing was really good. And it's only going to get better because he's going to have that. Again, he's going to find that consistency and game in, game out. He's going to be that guy versus a little bit of the roller coaster, a little bit up and down. Again, that this entire team has shown this season.
And then the last one for me is, looking at Albany, they're a different team, it seems, or at least they're playing like a different team than the one that made it to the finals a year ago. What do you see on video with these guys? Because I'm sure you're still going to say like any team is a threat, right?
100%. Any team that gets to a finals is a good team. And again, they had a little bit of injuries early part of the year. I think put them in a little spot that they didn't quite have the guys that they counted on last year. But offensively, Dyson, who's a dynamic player there, doesn't really change too much. Shouldn't change too much as far as their offense goes. But it's just. Yeah, they haven't been getting, I think, the timely saves that they did last year with Dougie. But saying that, like he showed last week against Philly, he's still the league goaltender in this league. You hold Philly to 6. I'm sure they're saying like us, like we should have been on the right side of a few different wins throughout the year. And as guys look at the schedule or the standings, it'd be a heck of a lot different. So we got to keep that in mind that they're good. They're really good. Offensively, they're still so dynamic to swing the ball around. Haven't had much luck, by the way, scoring and maybe some timely more saves. Things are different. So we need an effort like we did against Calgary last week to stay with them.
Thanks, Hazer. Sam, we'll go ahead and jump to you.
Hey, thanks, Andrew. Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Morning, Sam. Good. Thanks. How about yourself?
Good. Thank you. Good. First question I had for you. We talked a little bit last week, after that tough one with Saskatchewan and then bouncing back and the goaltending situation with Ryland. What were your thoughts on Ryland's game this past weekend against Calgary?
He was really good. Hertz was really good. He was really good early as well. He made a lot of big saves for us that just sort of allowed us offensively to extend that lead, and then defensively just be played more comfortable, knowing he was going to make those saves for us. And again, he was fiery, a lot of big saves in the right spots, and there was, if you would have talked to him, if you would have looked at him, there was really no doubt he was going to have one of his better performances in a long while, and he showed up and he did it for us.
We talked a little bit about the way the standings are starting to shape up and about how every game is very important here on out. You're, more than halfway through what you're going to do, but a lot of home games coming up. Only really 2 road games and the rest are home, and especially with 3 straight to close it out at the end. With all these teams in the middle of the pack, what's the significance upon this week's game, and what can you take as far as the way the standings are starting to shape up right now with you being right on the doorstep?
Yeah, no, like I say, we're right in the midst of it, and again, it's where we expected to be, and it's where we thought we'd be for throughout the year, even given our struggles and like say the roller coaster ride that we've been on. And like I said, we can only focus on today, basically, and tomorrow night against Albany, and that's our primary concern is that we got to make sure that we're at our best this week, and then refocus and then recalibrate and see what happens next week. But if we can play the way we played against Calgary, and that was such a team effort, from, like I say, between the restraining lines, one thing that I really take pride in, we were really good between the restraining lines. If we can do that, week in, week out, we're going to put defenses on their toes a little bit. We're going to put offenses, like I say, we're going to be able to transition the ball, and we're able to play 5-on-5 defensively, which is one of our strengths. So we just got to make sure that, like I say, we worry about us, and we just make sure that our best foot forward is brought against tomorrow night.
Coach, always appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Sam. Appreciate it as well.
And Coach, just kind of piggybacking off of what you're talking about with Ryland, I mean, you kind of see like two different methods with Hutchie and net and with Ryland. I mean, Hutchie's more of a stoic guy, like, just brings his lunch pail, gets the job done, where, Ryland seems like he's much more animated. He's much more demonstrative and stays a little more aggressive coming out of the net. Do you see that the defense feeds off of that a little bit more just because he is like a little more boisterous behind them?
I think that to a certain degree it helps, because again, his attitude and his fieriness is infectious. So it brings out a different level in some of the guys sometimes. But the way Hutchie goes about his business, there's just that quiet confidence, and the guys in front of him know we're going to get the saves, right? And I think that's the biggest thing. No matter who's in the net, if we're getting the saves, we're going to be okay. And I think that's for any team. And it's just, like I say, we had a couple of breakdowns early against Calgary that Hart's made the save for us. Hutchie's done that in the past for us as well, where, we have a couple early breaks down, and then we start getting going better defensively. So as long as we can get these timely saves from either one of them, I like our chances at the end.
Staying with the defense, Ian Lord is leading the league in block shots. I mean, this is a guy who's been in the league a long time. He's putting his body in front of the ball. I mean, how does that set the tone for a lot of the younger defensive players that here's a veteran in this league who's been in the league almost 20 years and still just laying it out every single play, every single night?
Yeah, again, that's one reason why we brought Lordy in here, is just that he does lay it out on the line every single shift. And again, it doesn't matter the situation or the score. He's just going to be old school, in your face, on your hands. And if you're going to get hit by him, it's going to hurt, right? And he just buys in and does whatever we need. And he's been doing it consistently for us this year. And again, I mentioned it. That's the reason why, because it's another guy we can point to and says, play like him, play with his attitude, and you'll be successful as you go in the crossplay.
And when you take a look at Albany, I mean, they changed around the coaching responsibilities a little bit. Gibby moved from offense to defense, and you immediately saw them play a little bit of a different style against Philly, and it paid dividends with only giving up 6 goals. What have you seen as kind of a shift in Albany's defense this season?
Yeah, they're really high tempo. They're really on your hands, but and they press really early, which watching in Philly, they still do that, but then they settle in a little bit and they pack it in a little bit more. And they're a little bit more methodical. So it's two things that we as a group have to make sure we're doing well. Is one, to transition the ball up the floor and putting it in the spot that's going to relieve some of that pressure, and it's guys coming on the floor to get them out of their spots and out of the matchups they want to get to. So it's like I say, it's different from in the past, but for us, we just got to do consistently what we did against Calgary. It's just getting on the floor with a purpose and moving that ball as quick as we possibly can and being physical. That was probably our most physical game on the offensive end we've had in a while. And again, if we can do that, the success will follow.
Great. Thanks a lot, Coach. Appreciate it.
No problem at all. Thanks.
Ripper, do you have anything for Hazer before we wrap up?
I was going to ask about Lordy, but of course, Brendan is always quick. Great minds think alike. I guess my question to you is, Hazer, Waters game in Calgary. Obviously, it's a place where he had played before. Wanted to have a good game. It's his third 2-goal game of the season. He seems to have picked things up since he sat that one game. Do you think that he's becoming a major contributor again on offense?
We hope so. And again, for Kate up there, it's finding that consistency in his game. And again, we don't necessarily need him to score every single game. We need him to chip in, and like if we're going to get one out of him, we'll take that. It's just doing the right things and being a presence. He's a big body. And a couple games previously, he would kind of just sit in the middle versus using his size and strength and pushing guys around, where he got back to that against Calgary. And it was one of those spots where, again, I think he wanted to show a message to them that they made a mistake, which we are happy they did. So it's just, again, for the entire group here, it's that consistency we need out of them, shift in, shift out, game in, game out. And again, we have expectations for them that they're going to perform. And again, we hope he's on the right side moving forward with it.
That's it for me, guys.
All right. Thank you, Ripper. And thanks everybody for being on the call here, including you, Hazer. Appreciate it. Wish you safe travels to Raj, and good luck tomorrow night.
Sounds good. Thanks for the time, guys. Appreciate it.